example 3, use Newton's method to approximate the root of that on the interval 1, 2. So sometimes you have a function that has multiple answers. So if they give you an interval, they only want the answer on that interval. That just helps me guess. X sub 1 equals 1.5. If they give me an interval, I'm going to pick something dead center of the interval for my guess. As long as that doesn't divide by 0, I'm in good shape. All right, so again, if f prime of x equals 0, you got to guess something different. But I'm going to guess 1.5 as my first guess. I'm going to let f of x equal the function that equals 0. So again, equals 0 is required. X cubed plus 7x minus 10. Once you have equals 0, just that's f of x. F prime of x is 3x squared plus 7. Okay? So now we're going to go to easier technique than the last technique. Okay? I think it's easier. I don't know. Maybe it's not. We'll see. I'm going to go to my calculator here. I'm going to go to y equals. And I'm going to type in y1 is f of x, which is x cubed plus 7x minus 10. And y2 is going to be f prime, which is 3x squared plus 7. Make sure your derivative is correct. If it's not correct, it doesn't work. All right. So, and right now it's been polynomial functions, but it's going to be trig functions. It's going to be radical functions, whatever. But just make sure your derivative is correct. It doesn't work well if it's not. And what I want to do is I've entered those things in. Again, I start with my guess, which I've already said is 1.5. I'm going to type in 1.5 just like I did before. All right. And I'm going to type in the same string I did before, store x semicolon. All right. But now instead of putting x minus function divided by function, I'm going to do this. X minus, and then there's a button on your calculator right here. It's on the third line down, fourth button over. It says VARS. That's the variables button. And if you go over to the y variables, just by pressing the over to the right arrow, you got all these choices. Choose function, y sub 1 through y sub whatever. That's all the y functions in your y equals list there, right? Well, f of x is y sub 1, right? Enter. Divided by variables over function y sub 2. So instead of having to put all the parentheses there and having that big mess there, I've already got y1 and y2 stored in my y equals menu. I'm telling it to go find y1 and y2. Now I've got that string right there. The reason that's better is this. If I hit second enter, it brings up the last thing I ever typed in, right? You're going to be doing a bunch of these problems again and again and again. If you always use the same string and just have to change up the y equals in here, you don't have to keep on retyping everything. You type that once and then just hit second entry until you go back and find it. And then it's there for you. All right, so that's why it's cool. So 1.5, 1.2, 1.8, and so on. Keep going. We're trying to find a repetition of digits, which, there we go, those are exactly the same. That number's between 1 and 2, right? That's the interval they gave me. So x equals, and it didn't specify. I'm going to go, let's go 4 decimal places down. So 1.1887 would be the value of x, the root on the interval from 1 to 2.